Alright, first and foremost, before we get into the video, I just want to preface this by saying I know it's a long video, but it does cover pretty much every map on attacking and defending, and I will be putting timestamps in the description with each map, their attack, their defense, just so it's a little easier to navigate if you know some things or not. But anyway, thanks for watching in advance. Alright, hello and welcome to my Viper guide. This guide will just go through all the maps, useful smokes, one-way smokes, walls, executes that you can do on attack, etc. Stuff like that. Just hoping to spread some information that some people either don't know about, or if you want to improve as a Viper player or Viper main. I will be posting these when new maps come out, but for now this will be on the 4 maps that are in the game now that it is in full release. So to any of my aspiring Viper mains, hopefully you find this useful. So the first map we're going to do is the new map that came out with release, which is Ascent. First I'm going to start off with defending, because it's honestly where I believe Viper has her strongest, or where she is her strongest. First off, you're going to stand in this corner. On B site, you're going to aim right on this ridge, just scoped in so you guys could see it. Aim right around here. Check your smoke. It's going to land up there. Once you do that, you can come up here. This is just a useful mid wall that you can do. Whoops, wrong button. So what you're going to do, once the game phase ends, wall will go there. For you, your one way, you can sit up here, just anywhere in this general top area.
Poison orb emitting.
Pop your smoke. This is what you'll see.
Poison's off.
Anyone who decides to push showers,
Poison orb emitting.
they'll come in. They won't be able to see you until they swing all the way out, and by this time, if you're sitting here, you have a crossfire CT.
Poison's off.
Just to show you what the wall does, in case you're curious, this way,
Toxins
for your
going
mid
up.
player, can allow them to get a little bit more aggressive. Same with your cat player. It gives you a decent amount of mid control because they can't swing unless they're up there,
Toxin screen down.
which is a fairly easy pick if you have someone who's sitting up there. For the second smoke, get the op. You want to sit in this corner by this boat.
Here.
You're going to aim right here. So you see this pillar, you want to aim closer to the top, right around this area. Smoke's going to land up there. Alright, so for you,
Poison orb emitting.
this smoke will give you orb control, and you can see them as they walk in. What you
Poison's
can do,
off.
and the reason why I think this smoke is so useful, is if they're pushing in,
Poison orb emitting.
1, yes, they can't see you because it's a one-way.
Poison's off.
2, if they get a little too aggressive and you need to back off, by the time they swing far enough to see you, unless they're guess shooting where you are, you have time to reposition anywhere else onto site.
Nobody's a hero when they're crying for air.
Onto A site. For A, the most useful one-way smoke that I found, you want to sit here. So push yourself up against the barrier. You're going to look at this curtain, and you're going to go 1 tile. So 1, 2, or 3 if you count that one. So you want to go generally about down here. Go in the mid of this tile. Go off to your right. Smoke will land up there.
Poison orb emitting.
Boom. Now you have orb control.
Poison's off.
What you can do, just because people do generally, if they're trying to attack A site, they will swing this aggressively to try and catch you if you swing out here. Whoever your cat player is, if they're like a Breach, a Reyna, something like that, you can have them flash it for you, or you can throw utilities. One of the two. Just force people to chill. You know what I mean? Force them to back up. That'll give you time to position yourself. As far as the defensive wall goes, you can sit about right here. You want your wall to cut through mid.
Toxins going up.
For your cat player, what this does for them, they don't really have to worry about that angle unless they swing all the way out. Lets them get a little bit more aggressive. And your mid player can come out and cover the cat player in case anyone
Toxin screen down.
Onto attacker side. So for attackers, I'm going to show you smokes, useful walls, then executes, depending on what strategy you're going for. So if you're going for an attack on B, first smoke, which will smoke CT, go to the top of the antenna, go just about to the right edge of this. You want to jump through that. Let it come with your wall. Place it about right here. You just want to cut off the two entrances. So
Poison orb emitting.
That'll do for you. You have to check this angle, but you have your CT smoke, and you have this wall for anyone sitting here.
Toxin screen down.
In case anyone is sitting in this general area, you can wallbang this relatively easily. You can also use your Ascent to clear that corner, because people do sit in there. You can either have some other players smoke that, and then with your smoke, with combination of your smoke and CT,
Poison orb emitting.
and shoot it about right there, in case someone's trying to push through, you guys get onto sight.
Poison's off.
Alright. For the second smoke, you're gonna go to right here. So line yourself up with this ledge. Slide over to the third one. Right around there. Chuck it. Should land up top. So what this one allows you to do,
Poison orb emitting.
right here I'd recommend the same one. Boom, you have that covered. Pass it that. Run into sight.
Toxin screen down.
Depending on your team comp, for an execute that I would do, I'm gonna wait for the toxins to come generally to about 80%. Is a good one for me.
Poison orb emitting.
Pop this, shoot that, have someone cover your CT. Go in,
Toxin screen down.
place it anywhere back here. The reason why I say you want it in the back of sight or right here, you want to have
Don't get in my
a
way.
little bit of leeway to play around with this backside. You don't want it deep in there, but you want to just have a little bit of room with it. With this all, you can be a little bit tricky with people, honestly. One thing I've done is you can sit on these ledges because of how the alt seeps through. You'll see people's feet when they're looking above the alt, which, especially with the Phantom, you can kind of just chill right here, shoot their legs, you know, shoot their kneecaps, and then reposition. I would always walk when you reposition so they can't tell where you go. And that'll just allow you to play around with where you plan in. So, it's a generally good execute for B site. Next, just in case you do want to play mid, this can go for either side on A or B. But if you're going for like an aggressive mid take, there isn't exactly a good, well, you can smoke off cat, but in my opinion your wall can do both, and it can do it just better than your smoke can. What you want to do, game phase
Breathe deep.
just want to sit around here. So anywhere in this area, if you look at that teal line, shoot your wall.
Toxins going up.
That'll cut off the player there unless they swing out by the time.
Toxin screen down.
So one cuts off the CT peak, and if you can pick the player if they get aggressive.
Toxins going up.
You can also swing through your wall, and then of course just check your common angles if you're going to
Toxin
mid.
screen down.
That wall doesn't have to be, there's no like precise lineup, it's just however you want it. For the smoke, in case you're wondering, stand up about against this wall. I'm a little bit above this tree. Jump and throw.
Poison orb emitting.
Lands in there. That's if you want to smoke it.
Poison's off.
Of course, the player can get aggressive and push all the way out through that, so... I don't know, take it how you want. That's a cat smoke. If you like that, I just prefer the wall.
30 seconds left. Thrifty!
They will die.
Moving on to A site.
Hopeless and afraid.
There's only one good wall on A. Well, first I'll start with this one. For the smoke, aim roughly about here. In this dark area, go closer to the white, pull down.
Come.
For your wall, you want to stand here. Aim up. If you look at the teal line, what you're aiming for, if you can see my map.
Here.
Aiming for rafters right around there. The reason why you want it there, for one, is
Toxins going up.
this will cover door corner and door, as well as back of sight. And if anyone's rafters, they do
Toxin
have to
screen down.
swing all the way out in order to take a peek. So with the combination of the two,
Poison orb emitting.
you have your heaven rat hole covered. Just have to check here, here, here,
Top poison's off.
and then with your execute, depending where you want to plant bomb, I generally like to have my ult come around this corner. So what you can do, place it around right here.
Don't get in my way.
You can plant anywhere around this box. I wouldn't plant and have your ult go into, I call that rat hole, so I wouldn't have it go into there. The reason why I like it to go around this corner just slightly, just because you can play around with this. I'll try and find a clip where I sit right here and you just play around with the people. They'll be looking around in your ult, and depending on how far it seeps out, not a lot of people will check this. They'll go for bomb because usually they expect you to be in a spot where you have line of sight of it. So it's a good ult, decent ult. You can also, this allows you to have one person play door if the door is closed and a person play heaven. Just an overall pretty good execute.
30 seconds left. Thrifty!
Of course, these executes, I will say this, these are just based off of your own utility. These executes can get a lot more fancy, for the lack of a better term. And depending on how competent your team is, you can make, with your wall and your smoke, and the combination of other people's utility, you can make it really aggressive and really push people off of a site. If they're not willing to give up sight to take a 5v5, you can typically take a pick off of a team, so 1 or 2 people, which already that gives you a major advantage. So just a general rule for thumb, depending on your ranks. Second wall that I'll show
Let's
you,
choke them.
this one, you're going to aim roughly about here, if you look at the teal line.
Toxins going up.
This wall gives you mid control. Allows you only have to worry about here. Realistically, if they swing, yes, you have to worry about it. But if anyone's pushing out, you have to worry about your bath players.
Toxin screen down.
Alright, well, believe I covered everything on Ascent. So on to split. See you guys there. On to split. So for split, I'll start first here on B site. Very first, one way you want to do, you want to stand in this corner. You're going to aim at this little triangle thing in between. So roughly about there. Throw it. It'll get stuck. For this one, you want to sit on your left side, so stick around here, on site.
Poison orb
If you
emitting.
control the orb, you go to see them as they come in.
Poison's off.
For them, anyone swinging showers Or not showers, my bad. B main.
Poison
garage,
orb
whatever you wanna
emitting.
call it. They won't be able to see you if you're holding stairs unless they're all the way back here. Or of course they've swung all the way out to your right.
Poison's off.
This one you can actually jump and grab. Alright, for the second one, which is the one I personally will do pretty much every match, you gotta come here. So there used to be a lineup right here. Where you push up against this, look up, and right click. But in beta they patched the barriers, so this was pushed back. So in order to get that lineup again, you're gonna look at this flower pot, this line next to it, align yourself as close as possible. Alright, whatever, right about there. You're gonna put your crosshair on the edge of this thing. So if you notice, I put it on the edge of this pipe. It's right around there. And then you want to bring it down just to about right there. So if I realign it, it's gonna back off the wall. It'll land in the middle again. If you don't remember this, if you didn't play beta,
Poison orb emitting.
basically this is probably one of the strongest one-ways for Viper, and especially because mid is her strongest position to be playing. They can't see you, and for you sitting up here, you can fully see their feet. Pretty
Poison's
easy
off.
kills, super useful one-way. Also, what you can do after setting up that one-way without peeking mid, you can come right here and look up. If you look at that teal line, you're gonna put it in between these two, just anywhere really. Shoot that. This wall will cover mid for you, and it'll cover a little bit of A ramp and the A main area, just in case your team needs some like cover to fall back, reposition and stuff. And then speaking of Viper playing here at mid, the reason why I believe this is probably the best location for Viper to be playing is strictly just because of how much control her ult can give you. You would want to place your ult, so like be getting around whatever barriers back here. What you can do is just chuck your smoke,
Poison orb emitting.
come in, ult,
Don't get in my way.
and boom. With how important mid is on split, this is super nice to have, especially because it deters your enemy from wanting to push this. For me personally, I like to sit around right here. You see, oh, whoops, I fell. But up there, just because you get to see anyone coming this way. And if I am playing with a shorty, you're just a nuisance to deal with. So, or any shotgun in general. Next lineup is going to be another.
My ultimate is
lineup.
ready.
This one, what you want to do, you'll be pushed up against the barrier. And come here. So you're gonna look at this thing right here. So yeah, there's these like little stubs. You're gonna aim for the second one, about that height. Go to the pole, right next to it. Throw it. It's gonna land up there.
Poison orb
This
emitting.
one, when you pop it, gives you one way for ramen, market, whatever you want to call this area. Super common. A lot of people like to
Poison's
swing
off.
that. The only disadvantage to throwing this smoke, in my personal opinion, people are very, very, very aggressive typically swinging this. So if you're throwing it, they're gonna swing before you even have a chance to pop it. On the occasion, if they're playing a little more passive, it'll work, but it's strong, I just don't think it's worth against an aggressive team.
30 seconds left.
Keep kicking them down.
Alright, next up, A site. For A site, strongest one-way smoke, you want to stand here, line yourself up against these like little lines. So there's one here, one there. Get your crosshair relatively to the edge, right around there. You're gonna aim where these two lines meet, so this middle line. You're gonna jump and left click. That'll get your smoke stuck up here.
Breathe deep.
You want to sit back here. This is the strongest position for you to sit. Just play around with your positioning. People will catch on fairly often for this one.
Poison orb emitting.
They don't see anything unless they're crouched all the way in the back, or if you're on left side and they're right here.
Poison's off.
But for you, sit around
Poison
here.
orb emitting.
Bam. You can see them as they come up.
Poison's
Especially
off.
if they're pushing pretty heavily. Most people won't expect it. Next one is here down. So for this one, you want to aim right here at the corner. A little bit down into your left. Chuck it. It's gonna get stuck up there. This one personally
Poison orb
probably my
emitting.
least favorite one-way smoke, just because it does give you like slight vision, but really unless you see like just if they swing out, you will get to see them first.
Poison's
but
off.
they can react fairly quickly to this one. Is still a one-way, but I don't believe it's as strong as any of the others. Alright, now on to attack.
30 seconds left.
I hear them scream.
Okay. For attack, for A, there's one wall and one wall only that you want to do. Just, I don't know, it's literally the best wall for A site. There's just no other wall that I've seen that will do anything better. So you want to aim up there, that top corner. And what you're trying to do here, in case you don't, or just to explain it a little better, because I have seen this and I didn't understand it at first. You're trying to line up this building with that hole up there. So it's going to be on this line right here that my crosshair is tracking. So up here, and it's going to be parallel to that. But your crosshair is going to be here to line it up. So you just look at it on the right side of your screen, push it up, right around there.
Let's go.
You're going to aim not the first, but above the second one. You'll see it on your mini-map. It's to heaven. Boom. This wall, if you've seen it before, you know this cuts off
Toxins
ramps.
going up.
And heaven.
Toxin
Nice.
screen down.
Alright. Now, depending on what you're going for, there are two smokes that I like to use. If you just want to get on site as quick as possible, not try and challenge anyone ramps, this is the smoke you want to do. This will cover your screens. So you're going to aim roughly about a little bit above the white. Just right in this area. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to jump it up. That'll land right in front of screens. So when you're going,
Poison orb emitting.
all of this is covered. And that covers that back corner. So you can check up here and here. Get to sight.
Toxin screen
And
down.
clear sight. I will typically throw this smoke when I have my ult. And I will place my ult. Depending if I have bomb or not, I'll usually place it around right here.
Don't get in my way.
That allows for a plant right there, but it does allow your ult to seep down here, which is really, really good, because if anyone's coming heaven and they drop down, you'll usually have to jump on them, especially if you're playing against this wall. If people are coming CT and you know it, you come right here, get a quick little peek on them. Just little things like that are useful. Now, if you want to play to try and control heaven, this smoke is extremely powerful, but you have to be a little coordinated with your team. So you want to aim at this little corner, as I do here, right click that. My bad. Left click. Whoops. And it's gonna land up there. What this
Poison orb
does
emitting.
is people who like to hold this tight angle on ramps won't be able to see, but you'll be able to see their legs. So say for instance it's the upper. This is what they see. Can't see anything.
Poison's off. Who to smother first? Let's choke them.
Okay, so for B, you wanna come next to this plant. Look at this line. Back up just a little bit. You're gonna aim in between these two lines. Go a little bit closer to the middle. Shoot that. Then you wanna come into this corner. And you wanna aim. So whatever this thing is, you wanna aim at the bottom right here. And jump through your smoke. This allows you to do, when you push,
Poison orb emitting.
boom, you have that backside covered, and you have heaven walled. So unless they want to push all the way out to
Poison's
rafters,
off.
or rafters, they have to swing all the way out. Plus with the sage wall right here, it's fairly easy sight take. When I go for this sight take, depending on how much control I have of sight at the time, I'll either place all here. This is if we need to try and get more control of sight, I'll place it here. If not, I place it up here. If I do and I know we have full control of sight and I'm not going to get shot from my heaven, I'll place my ult here.
Don't get in my way.
Reason being, this will seep into CT. I would place it just a little further, like look further towards CT than I did. But regardless, the reason why this ult placement, in my opinion, is the best, you can sit. That was weird. You can sit right here, and here if anyone drops down, as well as when I place my ult here, and I'm able to, I like to plant opposite of default. Reason being, with the decay of your ult and the decay of your snake bite, you can bank that off when you hear someone defusing, and they will die super quickly because of the double decay. As well as, say you're playing back here, hear them defusing again, boom, same concept, kills them, and you can spray through. This also allows you to walk up to here, play a little bit of ring around the rosy. You do have enough time to walk back and forth. It's fine to walk instead of running like I just did. As you can see, I get back before my ult's even close to dropping.
$30 seconds left. Thrifty.
And that's pretty
My
much
priority
the
is their
only
suffering.
good. I mean, you can do a heaven smoke, although I do think the wall takes the heaven smoke's place because it covers heaven and the smoke won't cover the bottom down here regardless.
Here.
So the wall plus the combination of your smoke in the back of sight where people like to hang out is super nice. Next on to, if you want to get a little bit of mid control, here's one smoke I like to do, just thought I'd show you. So you're going to aim just in this general vicinity, kind of like right here in this corner, and jump through your smoke. What that'll do, go split it real quick. Your smokes will land in this area.
Poison orb emitting.
And boom, gives you a little bit of mid control because say you have a teammate and they're
Poison's
like,
off.
I'm gonna swing mid with the knob. You can smoke that for them so they don't insta get picked if they have an opper there, as well as it'll allow your team to get more aggressive because now you can just clear heaven and
Poison orb emitting.
you really want to ensure you don't have someone pulling a Stewie 2K. Just boom, shoot a molly, shoot your snake bite, something. Keep them off you. Boom. Push the head.
Poison's off.
Alright, well, that about wraps up Split. Alright, on to the next map. Alright, on to Bind. On Bind, unfortunately, the one thing Viper suffers from on Bind, I won't say she's worse on this map than she is on Ascent and Split. In my opinion, on Ascent and Split, Viper is just insane because of how she can force your enemies to play. On defense and attack, she offers so much control if you play her correctly and you use the setups correctly. She offers so much control and it makes people play around how your setups work. On Bind, she can only really play A, which is her only real downside in my opinion. I've looked and I've tried to find one ways on A, but it's they are few and far between. And even if you see one, like a post on Reddit where it's like, oh, one way on Bind B site hookah, I've seen a few and they've never really been actually practical, or they just kind of are a decent smoke. It's hard to explain. Alright, so for A site, it's the only thing you're going to play on defense if you're playing Viper on Bind. You're going to come right here, edge yourself to the corner. Doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, a little bit up, right click it. Bam. Get stuck up there. Now there are two walls you can do. One, depending on what you want to do, you want to be a little bit greedy and double up on A. This is the wall you want to do. Push yourself up against this and you can go all the way across. Doesn't have to, just that's really up to your preference. I don't like it going all the way across because I always set up this one way and this will mess with this one way. So for the one way, if you have the game, this one gives you shower control. You can play around it all around sight.
Poison's off.
And for the opponents who are swinging showers,
Poison orb emitting.
They can't see you, even if they try and crouch.
Poison's off.
They won't be able to see anything. This is also an easily reclaimable smoke. Just jump, grab, bam. Now, why this wall? This wall, what it allows you to do, I would only do this once because your enemy will catch on. For one, it can block flashes, but two,
Toxins going up.
it gives you a tiny little peek right here onto the left side.
Toxin screen down.
And the reason I say I would only do this once. Once your opponent, it's hard for them to see you unless they have like the highlight, the enemy highlight. So if they spot you out, you're an easy pick if you're assuming you won't be seen. But if they don't, and they're a little bit newer, this is a nice little quick peek. Nice to throw them off guard. There we go. Alright. Throw it against there. For your wall. Then you come over here. Aim up. Look at that teal line. You wanted to cut through hookah and get slight bit of long. Make it a little bit easier. Can you jump shoot that? I'm sure to make it go just a tad bit faster. Alright.
Breathe deep.
What this one way does,
Poison orb emitting.
gives you one way for short. Pretty nice to have.
Poison's off.
For your opponent,
Poison orb emitting.
unless you're all the way out there, they can't see anything.
Poison's off.
Especially if they swing right there in that little pocket. You can sit right here,
Poison orb emitting.
and you'll see them walking towards you.
Poison's off.
Now, what does this wall do? That's nice. This wall is specifically, I like using it to play retake or to support your B players if needed.
Toxins going up.
If I pop it, cuts off hookah, and it cuts off long.
Toxin screen down.
That wall is super useful because say they're opping or they're just playing hookah.
Toxins going up.
Boom. You don't have to worry about hookah unless, of course, they push out and they're like down here.
Toxin screen
Which
down.
leaves you with your common sight angles, like right here, back there, occasionally right there, or cubby, elbow, stuff like that. Okay, on to attack.
30 seconds left.
For your attack, there's one main wall you want to do, no matter where you're pushing.
Breathe deep.
Come right here. Shoot it right there. This allows you to do, of course, clear your U-Haul.
Toxins going up.
When you pop this smoke, Heaven can't really see you. Blocks off this corner and blocks off the rest of the site. So for your default truck,
Toxin screen down.
this is super nice. I would just make sure to double check this when your smoke comes down in case the person's trying to be cheeky, you know, and just sit here, wait for it to drop, catch you off guard. For ult placement, of course, I'd place it right here. That would also serve as a defense. I know I didn't mention this for defense, but I would also place a defensive ult up here. Keep them from taking teleporter, covers the entrance to U-Haul, and of course it cuts off the common sage wall truck plant that people like to do. Now if you're going through showers, the only thing that changes is you actually have a smoke for showers. Doesn't have to be perfect, but what I like to do, I like to be able to see the tip of this little yellow triangle. And go. Fine. Okay, let me not mess that up. So if you're going through showers, the only real thing that changes is you do have a smoke for this. So notice down here, make sure that's not in your way. Aim at this yellow triangle, base of it. Check your smoke. Don't have to jump or anything.
Poison orb emitting.
That'll allow you to cover your head.
Toxins going up.
And in combination with your wall, cuts off U-Haul side. So you just have to check some common angles
Toxin
up there.
screen down.
And of course, anyone playing back here. When you execute with the shower side, I recommend placing your ult here at the doorway. Specifically because you can get this corner plant and play around in showers. Yes, it may be a little obvious, but you, of course, you can always push out. So. Okay.
Don't get in my way!
You can have one person covering your showers, so sitting in that corner over there. You can play over here. With bomb being planted, you swinging out, you can see them right away. As well as with a shorty, cheeky little spot. You can sit default if they know you planted over here and wait for them to push in. Or you can do stuff like this if you hear them running hard around this backside. Go around. Boom, you know? Play like that. As well as if you really want to get really cheeky and sneaky, sit up here. Perfect side of the bomb. Not a lot of people will check that angle.
30 seconds left. Thrifty.
I hear them scurrying.
Okay. For attacking on B side, typically you want to start long. Like, just depends where you're pushing. but all your walls will be placed from wall.
Their hope is their poison.
So first one, if you're going from hookah, generally I'll place this wall. Just shoot it, let it go a little bit faster. For smoke, you have to jump through this one. Just aim at the bottom of this fine arrow, roughly there.
Poison orb emitting.
That does covers your CT, covers all of this. All you're left with is from hookah. You can check this
Toxin
corner,
screen down.
and you can check this corner. I would plant here for that, just to get the plant down right there, because that is plants. I planted for hookah. That's what I'll call out. And it allows me to place
Don't get in my way.
Reason I like my ult being there. You can crouch up here, play around with bomb, and most people will expect you to be on the floor playing in some corner, like they'll expect you to be here. Just switch it up.
Thirty seconds left. Thrifty.
Make them beg.
Alright,
Come.
now if you're going from long, your wall's going to be closer to the right. Try to get in between these antennas. Closer. Jump shoot. Jump shooting just makes your wall go faster. In case you were wondering. So blah blah blah, you'd go, swing, clear,
Toxins going up.
pop your wall. You wanted to cut off that corner. Check here. Sage can wall elbow. And of course you can plant, and I would do the
Toxin
same
screen
wall that I
down.
showed earlier. Alright, well, that's Viper on by. Alright, and finally on to Haven. This map, arguably, in my opinion, Viper's okay. Not as strong as she is on Ascent, and nowhere near as strong as she is on Split. On this one, you do have one ways for all three sites, just varying depending on what you're playing. So starting here at A, this one's fairly easy. This one, you're sitting in heaven. You want to inch yourself just right around here, aiming roughly around this corner, right there. So I land up there, that little ledge. So if you hop down and it's on the game page.
Thrifty.
Oh. Alright. So,
Poison orb emitting.
this orb gives you a one-way for long. It also works up top on heaven. Usually you can sit around about right here. Get the initial kick
Poison's
on
off.
someone. Second lineup is here at B. So, say, yeah, barrier would be right here. You want to go along right here. So, if you can see these little, I don't know what they are, little square slabs that come out. You want to be lined up with them and then go to this edge. Just about that height. Go here, aim at the edge. Your smoke's gonna get lodged up there. And on this specific one way, for this strat, I would recommend, just because I don't believe it's common, usually people have Sage playing mid, I would double up mid here, because in the beginning you can have Sage watch your crossfire while you set everything up, and then you can both hold this one way. The reason I say that, like set everything up, this wall right here, getting it into heaven, creates a pretty nasty angle for you.
Poison orb emitting.
So if you see both, you have your left side covered, and you have a one way. So these in
Poison's
combination cover window for you. So for anyone who, you know, like if a person comes mid and people like to swing this. So what they'll see with all this pop is just this. They can see your leg right there when they swing all the way out. This is just like a little tunnel of death.
Poison's off.
So this also is probably where I would play Viper on Haven. I do like to play a double mid and then alt middle, just because you cut off an entire site. And typically when I would alt, or when I do alt, I want to place it further up, so look as high as you can.
Don't get in my way!
The only reason being is I like taking this much control of middle rather than sacrificing, like having my ult go further into B. I'll take having this like little in B and then having the rest outside of it, just because it's a tad bit more annoying to deal with the ult when it's here. So for this C1 one, what you want to do, push yourself up against here, line yourself up, just go slightly below this little pillar. Okay, so for C site playing this, you want to come up here, push yourself up against this wall. Right around here, you're going to aim for this pole is where you want to line up. So go down by the pole, go just below this. Left click, should get stuck up there. So for this one way, you do want to be sitting up here on this little raptor thingy.
Poison orb emitting.
So you pop it. And for you, you'll be able to see them super clearly. And for them, I'll show you really quickly. If you're up there, they can't see you. And especially if they're up close, unless they crouch. Crouch shooting will... You can hold the bottom, but if they crouch, it's fairly simple and fairly easy for them to see you. One thing you can do in combination with this one way, and this is personally what I'll do if I'm covering C, I like to place my wall. If you look at this teal line, I like it to slice mid.
Toxins going up.
What this allows for is
Toxin screen down.
say beginning of the round, I took a little long, and I throw the one way, and I hear them right away, and I know I'm not gonna have time to like rotate. What I'll do is I'll pop the wall, go here.
Toxin screen down. Poison orb emitting.
So I'll be able to see anyone who's pushed up aggressively and get a pick on whoever's back there.
Poison's off.
Alright, finally, the last one way I will show is a garage one way. You want to stand up against this wooden pillar. Just down, right in the middle of it. You're going to aim roughly here. You're going to jump and right click. It'll get it lodged up here. I have seen people place their smoke up here on the door, but it's not exactly one way. You certain angles you can get vision. I just don't think it's practical. The reason why I prefer this, if I hold garage, this one way is super nice, especially because whoever's playing garage, typically you do want to be playing around up here. So I'll show you what they see first. So,
Poison orb emitting.
For anyone swinging this, they can't see you no matter what angle they go on. Even if you have...
Poison's off.
So, no matter where you are.
Poison orb emitting.
And for you, the closer they get, the clearer it is where they are. And even standing back. And for them, just the closer they get, they still can't see it.
Poison's off.
Alright, so for attacking A side, first thing you want to do, you want to come up, get against the barrier.
Let's choke them.
You're going to aim right around here, so shoot, if you look on map, you wanted to cut
Here. Toxins going up.
Whoops, ignore that.
Toxin screen down.
Of course, the normal, clear A long, clear A short. You're going to want to come A long, line your crosshair up right here. Oops. It's about the edge of the bag. Then you're gonna come and right here at this corner, so this little corner right here is what you're aiming for. So left of the fire, up here. And then jump throw.
Poison orb emitting.
That smoke will cover heaven. This will cover anyone sitting this angle, and won't get all
Toxin screen down.
of CT. But it is nice just because if anyone is playing
Toxins going up.
they won't be able to see you back here. They'll only be able to clear this.
Toxin screen.
Alright, so for attacking C, you want to line yourself up right here, just kind of across this box, on the edge of the box. For your smoke, you want to line it up right here at the edge of that rock pillar.
I want to see you crawl.
And for your wall, come closer. Over there.
More toxins going up.
Your orb will cover right here. It won't cover the left side, just be warned of that, but it does cover the back side. Your wall will
Toxin
cover
screen down.
garage and CT. Alright, and finally on to attacking B. I won't cover garage just because there's no exact setup that you can do with Viper for garage, unfortunately. But there is one that you can do for B. So, what you want to do, you're aiming for this third pillar. So 1, 2, 3. Go for that pillar.
Let's go.
Goes down. Check your smoke. It's gonna land right in the center of, well, mid door or B door or whatever you want to call this. So the way I like to play this is
Poison orb emitting.
no one's gonna swing this, or unless they get really aggressive. Very few people will. And I like to wall. So
Poison's off.
while my smoke is up, if we're going for a B take, I like to put my wall roughly about here. So inch towards the left side, shoot it down. So once your smoke's
Poison
up,
orb emitting.
so you basically use your smoke to gain ground.
Poison's off. Toxins
Once
going
you're
up.
committing to B, place it up here. Anyone up here can't see you unless you're far out. And that allows you just to have to check right side of sight. It gives you
Toxin
half
screen
the
down.
sight essentially. Also covers the C rotation. So a lot of people when they're covering or when they're coming to support B, so say they're like, oh, and like they're B, people from C will support it from this side, and a lot of people will sit here.
Toxins going up.
So what this allows is they can't see you in mid, and they have to push up.
Toxin.
Alright, well, that about wraps up everything. I'm gonna give you guys just some closing thoughts on Viper. Just, my opinion, she's one of the more fun legends, one of the more high skill ceiling legends. The more you know with her, the more complex things are, and you can really control a lot more space than people would think. But really, that's all I have for you guys, and thank you for watching.